Hello guys, Harshu this side. Welcome back once again. Today, we're going to be unraveling one more interesting movie. So let's get started. At the beginning of the movie, we see Vic sporting a bike and riding through the forest trails back home, where his beautiful wife named Melinda is waiting for him. Their daughter Trixie asks Alexis to turn on her favorite childhood song. Melinda is annoyed by the song and tells her daughter to turn it off, but her daughter ignores her request. The nanny comes over and the couple are going to visit friends. Melinda asks her husband's opinion about her outfit for the evening, and she agrees with her husband's choice. Vic also wears the exact shoes he brought from New York. She reminds him that she loves him, and then they go to dinner. While the husband is socializing with the guests, his wife waits for her lover named Joel. She does not hesitate to approach him, knowing that her husband is watching her. The couple goes off to get some privacy, and Vic sees them kissing. When Melinda notices her husband, she doesn't give it much thought and continues to relax. She is approached by his friend Mary, who also notices a handsome guy next to Vic's wife. The woman says that everyone is watching his wife and worries that her husband doesn't pay attention to her. Their conversation is interrupted by the party host, Miles, who informs them that Melinda has climbed on his piano. When the husband went into the room, the girl decided to play the piano, and the audience was delighted. The husband can't take his eyes off his wife. Joel comes up to him and thanks him for seeing his wife. Vic remembers another guy named Martin, who also used to see his wife a lot. That guy disappeared without a trace. The man confesses that he killed him. The guy gets nervous. He can't believe it could have happened. The man smiles and just walks away, not trying to convince the guy of anything. Joel gets scared and leaves the party without explaining anything to the girl. Melinda asks her husband what he said to the guy, but the man won't admit it. Upon returning home, while the husband is paying off the babysitter, the spouse walks past them topless. He apologizes for his wife, and they retire to the bedroom, putting cream on her, and they discuss silly joy. The girl admits that she chose him because she likes herself better next to the guy. The husband tries to get close, but she asks him to close the door and leave. We realize that they live in different rooms, and the relationship is not ideal. Vic made himself a mini lab where he grows snails. In the morning, their daughter made herself a new game. Now we realize that her father is an engineer. He designs chips for military technology. Afterward, the father takes Trixie to school. On the way, he meets an acquaintance who tells him that the whole town says he got rid of Martin, but hopes it's not true. They have breakfast with his friends, and they discuss what Vic did. The man says it was a joke and he didn't hurt the guy. Upon returning home, his wife finds out and insists the man apologize to her friend. A couple of days later, the guy comes over to their house for dinner. The man jokes with him and tells him that the two of them are here alone and invites him into the house to talk. When the guy freaks out, Vic informs him that his wife is home and the guy can come in. The guy eats, reports that he is allergic to all seafood, and Vic made a special dinner. Joel eats grilled cheese and tells him he's leaving for another city since he found a decent job. The girl flirts with her lover right at the table, saying they're coming to visit him. The girl takes his grilled cheese instead of the seafood her husband made. They have an awkward conversation, and the guy feels redundant. He goes to wash his hands. Melinda sends her husband to read Trixie stories while they read. Melinda entertains her lover. Vic realizes this as he puts his daughter to bed. When he sees his wife, he decides to interrupt them and starts making noise with the dishes in the kitchen. His wife comes in and says she'll do the dishes in the morning and asks him to take a glass to a guest. Joel says to apologize for the bad joke, but the man makes it clear that he has nothing to apologize for since what happened is the absolute truth, letting him know that a cab is here to pick him up, and he has to leave in the morning. The whole family goes on vacation, where they meet a new writer. They begin to discuss what Vic does for a living and condemn his military IPS. When the writer learns the man's name, he brings up a rumor where Vic got rid of his wife's friend. The guests say it's a joke, and they all laugh as everyone heads to the dance floor. The man does something no one expects him to do. He invites Kelly, who is the writer's wife. The woman gladly agrees, and they go dancing. All of his friends discuss what's going on since it's the first time they've seen him dance. His wife becomes jealous. On the way home, the couple discusses what happened, and Melinda does something nice for her husband by brushing her teeth. When they get home, they have a follow-up on the morning of their daughter's game. Vic gets a call from the bank informing him that there are not enough funds in his wife's account to pay the check. The man finds out who and what the check is for. He finds out where the piano teacher plays and goes to see him. He sees his wife next to him and goes home. In the bathroom, he finds Melinda's ring. The news reports that they have found the body of Martin, who disappeared from his home without a trace. Later, his wife crawls home and tells him about her new friend. The husband tells her they found the guy. Unfortunately, he's dead. The next day, Vic buys a dog for his daughter. On his way home, the man notices the same musician walking with a bouquet of flowers. During lunch, the same bouquet is on the table, but it is immediately thrown away. At the restaurant with a friend, they discuss that there are no more rumors since that guy's killer has been found. Vic compliments the musician on his cool playing and tells his friend that he's his wife's new teacher. That same night, Melinda rides in the car with the musician, and the guy's very happy that they're having a good time. In the morning, she comes home to be greeted by her husband. They have a row while the daughter is out. She confesses to sleeping with the musician. The husband forces her to stop seeing the musician. The wife says he doesn't show her enough attention and passion. The man says he still loves her, but she goes back to her room. All the neighbors gather at the pool party and play contests. The musician gets an invitation too. The girl introduces Charles as her piano teacher. He starts playing and everyone is having fun, except Vic and the writer notice it. Melinda continues dancing and approaches her husband, turning her back. She touches him and the man likes it. The girl introduces the men. The evening is nearing its end and Vic sees his wife together with the musician. When everyone is swimming in the pool, Melinda is having fun together with her lover, not embarrassing her husband. When it starts to rain, everyone runs away. Only the husband and the lover are left. The engineer goes into the house where everyone is hiding from the rain. The writer notices that the man has returned without the musician. While trying to take a hot cookie, he burns his hand. Melinda searches for the guy and discovers a body floating in the pool. They pull him out and call an ambulance. Vic massages the guy's heart to save him, but he fails. When the police arrive, they try to figure out what happened, and Melinda accuses her husband of murder. They take her to another room to talk alone, and the writer remembers who he saw in the pool. After the detective interrogates the husband and believes it was an accident, back home the couple tries to talk. The wife makes it clear why she's not afraid of him, and he is satisfied with the answer. The man decides to go for a bike ride, remembering what happened at the pool. He notices a car following him after taking his daughter to school. Kelly meets him in the hallway and tells him that her husband is convincing the detective that it was V who hurt the boy. Bo, the woman, disagrees, so she warns the man to be careful to settle the situation. The man invites Kelly and her husband over for dinner at his house. He decides to show his lab. The man insists that the writer does not spread false rumors that it was Vic who harmed the musician. The writer is convinced that the musician was drowned. He is ready to stop spreading rumors after Vic agrees to take a lie detector. The man was not against it, and the writer was surprised. Walking down the street, the man notices the very car that's been following him. On the seat, there is a lens, and Vic realizes that it is a private detective. Walking into a bar, he sees his wife as a stranger. He tries to find out who the stranger works for, but the wife won't admit who he really is and imagines he's a therapist. Vic says he knows where to find the man and leaves. After a while, he comes to the writer and lets his family know that he hired a private detective to follow Vic. He tries to justify himself, but has shown a check with a transfer. The wife is also dissatisfied with the actions of her husband, and after the guest leaves, a family quarrel begins. Mystically, Vic again notices that the wife again has a new friend following them. The man decides to deal with the competitor. Coming home, he talks to his daughter. The girl tells her father that everyone around him says that it was him who hurt that musician. The father convinces that this is not true, but the daughter does not believe him and decides to keep it a secret. After putting the girl to bed, he hears his wife talking on the phone and realizes that the new lover wants to take her away with his daughter. He decides to meet his wife's new lover and invites his rival to his lab. Vic meets Tony, an old friend of his wife's, and shows him his snails, after which they go to the house together. Tony is told he's a green home builder. They cook dinner together and Melinda tells them where she met Tony. Turns out they used to sleep together. The girl doesn't care what her husband thinks. When the guest offered to fry snails, the host said that they would not eat them, and hinted that if you do not prepare snails properly, you can be poisoned. The guest's desire immediately disappeared. While the wife is having fun with the man again in front of her husband, Vic clears the table. They head upstairs. The husband sees what's going on, but Melinda continues. Later, the engineer finds Tony and invites him to look at the new land. Unsuspecting, they head into the woods. The man drives very fast. When they stop, Vic eliminates his rival, taking his documents. He hides Tony in the water and drives away. When they return home with their daughter for dinner, the wife can't get Tony on the phone. The man says he hasn't met Tony. Melinda suspects nothing, and they go on a picnic to the same gorge. At the picnic, Melinda warms her husband's hand and he gives her a present. It's a scrapbook he made of her photos, reminding her that he still loves her. He hears his daughter and goes after her, finding the body floating. He takes his daughter away so Trixie won't notice what's in the water. On the way home, his wife says she left her scarf in the woods, but it's too late to go back. Vic says he'll pick it up tomorrow. In the evening, he's reading a book. A girl enters the room and hugs her husband, asking him to sleep in her room. They lie in bed and she finally reminds him that she loves him. They have a burst of passion as it has been too long since they had intimacy. The next day, Vic hurries to the gorge to pick up a scarf. Melinda looks for her husband in the lab and sees that something is wrong with the snails. She finds Tony's ID and realizes what happened. The husband gets to the river looking around for witnesses. He goes into the water to cover his tracks. The rider is watching, coming up to him. He asks what the husband is doing in the water and comes closer, realizing what is happening. He tries to escape and drive away in a car. The sportsman races off on his bicycle. At the same time, Melinda is packing her bags to leave. Otter is against it and throws the suitcase in the water, saying they will stay home. It cuts in front of the car, the rider fails to control, and the car goes off a cliff. At the end of the chase, the athlete heads home, where he's met by his wife. She tells him she found Tony's files. Vic realizes the wife knows everything. With this, the movie ends here. Thanks for watching till the end. If you like our video, please like and subscribe to our channel to watch latest and interesting videos.